welcome to Space City X-Files.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back all you fellow truth seekers to the Space City X-Files, your portal to the mysteries that lie beyond the realm of ordinary understanding. Today, we unveil a tale that transcends time and challenges the boundaries of human comprehension. Prepare to delve into the captivating enigma of the Count of Saint Germain. Now, this story, being that we're in the last week of October, is going to fit right in with the mood, okay? Now, whether it's true or not, we're going to leave that up for you to decide, all right? In the heart of the 18th century, where superstition danced with reason and secrets whispered through the corridors of power, a figure emerged from the shadows. A man whose very existence confounded the minds of scholars and skeptics alike. The Count of Saint Germain, a name that echoes through the corridors of history, leaving behind an indelible mark on the annals of mystery. Who was this enigmatic character? A charlatan? An immortal? Join us as we venture into the depths of the unknown to unravel the truth that lies beneath the layers of the intrigue. Tales of the Count's extraordinary abilities abound, his linguistic prowess, effortlessly conversing in the languages known and forgotten, his alchemical mastery, purportedly capable of transmuting base metals into gold. Such tales captivated the imaginations of the noble and elite alike, drawing them inside of his orbit.
Ooh.
But yet, as we peel back the layers of myth, questions arise. Was the Count of Saint Germain merely a skilled illusionist, spinning elaborate webs of deception? Or did he possess a connection to the unseen realms? A cosmic conduit, if you will, to the truths hidden beyond our mortal comprehension. Join us on a voyage of discovery as we navigate the intricate tapestry of history and delve into the enigmatic life of the Count of Saint Germain. Now, through historical accounts, witness testimonies, and the echoes of legends passed down through generations, on this episode we aim to shed light on the enigma that has fascinated the world for centuries. It truly is an interesting character, and I think you're going to enjoy it. So prepare to unlock the secrets of a time veiled in mystery, a time when a possible immortal walked among men, leaving ripples in his wake. You're listening to the Space City X-Files, episode 25, The Count of Saint Germain, Man, Myth, or Vampire. Before we continue our investigation into this mystery, we'd like to take a moment to express our gratitude to all our listeners. At Space City X-Files, we strive to provide the best possible experience by keeping our episodes free of commercials and ads. We rely on your support to help us grow and reach more people who share our passion for uncovering the mysteries of the unknown. If you enjoyed today's episode, at the conclusion we kindly request that you take a few minutes to leave us a review on the platform you're listening on. Your feedback is invaluable in spreading awareness about the show and attracting new listeners. Additionally, if you would like to make a monetary contribution to support the program, you can visit our website and click on the Support Us tab. Every donation we receive goes directly towards enhancing the quality of our content. We appreciate your consideration and ongoing support. Your involvement ensures that we can continue to deliver thought-provoking episodes like today's over the mysterious Count. Thank you for being a part of the Space City X-Files, and we look forward to bringing you more captivating content in the future. This will conclude the announcements. Alright, so to start the show off, let's first learn who the Count was and what he was all about. So, the life of the Count of Saint Germain, an enigmatic figure shrouded in mystery and intrigue, spans the 18th century and continues to captivate the imaginations to this day. With an air of mystique surrounding him, the Count's true origins remain elusive, adding to the allure of his story. Emerging on the European scene during the reign of Louis XV of France, the Count quickly captured attention with his remarkable linguistic abilities. Fluent in a myriad of languages, he effortlessly conversed with people from various nations, astonishing all who encountered him.
Hello, ich am Count of Saint-Germain.
Hallo meine Frau, ich bin sie Count Saint-Germain.
His command over languages became the stuff of legends, with tales spreading far and wide of his extraordinary linguistic prowess. But the Count's talents extended far beyond his linguistic dexterity. He possessed an extensive knowledge of various fields, earning him admiration and respect from both aristocracy and intellectuals of the time. And whether it was art, science, philosophy, or politics, Count displayed an uncanny proficiency and depth of understanding that left his peers in awe. It was his association with alchemy, though, that truly set the Count Saint Germain apart. Now, he claimed to possess the coveted secret of transmuting base metals into gold, a pursuit that had captivated alchemists for centuries. Now, rumors circulated that the Count had achieved the fabled Philosopher's Stone also, and may have and possibly discovered a transformative elixir. These claims attracted the curiosity of nobility and commoners alike, adding to the enigmatic persona that surrounded him. But it wasn't just his alchemical pursuits that fascinated the masses, it was also his alleged immortality. The Count hinted at having witnessed historical events spanning centuries, suggesting a lifespan that far surpassed that of an ordinary mortal. The source of his longevity remained a subject of speculation, with some believing he had found the secret to eternal youth, or that he possessed extraordinary healing powers, one of the two. Throughout his life, the Count of Saint Germain frequented the courts of Europe's most influential figures. He gained the favor and patronage of monarchs such as Louis XV of France and Catherine the Great of Russia. And these two were just captivated by his intellect and charm. His presence in these esteemed circles elevated his status and further fueled the rumors and intrigue that surrounded him. However, skepticism and controversy trailed in the Count's wake also. Some viewed him as just another illusionist, a skilled trickster, a rapscallion, if you will, who employed his vast knowledge and charisma to create an illusion of greatness, but maybe he wasn't that great. They believed his claims of alchemical mastery and immortality were nothing more than elaborated fabrications designed to impress and deceive. To them, the Count was a master manipulator, adept at playing on people's fascinations with the supernatural. Yet, there were those who adamantly believed in the Count's extraordinary nature. They saw him as a sage, possessing hidden knowledge and tapping into the esoteric realms beyond the comprehension of individuals. Some even speculated that he was a member of secret society, entrusted with the ancient wisdom and arcane teachings that allowed him access to mysterious powers. As time passed, the Count of Saint Germain gradually faded from the historical records. The specifics of his later life and ultimate fate remain unknown, lost to the annals of time. Now, some claim that he simply vanished, leaving behind a legacy of wonder and intrigue. The Count of Saint Germain's enigmatic persona and legacy endure to this day. His name continues to invoke curiosity and fascination, representing a figure who straddled the worlds of intellectual brilliance, alchemical pursuits, and mysterious origins. So, whether seen as a charlatan or a sage, his impact on European society during the 18th century remains undeniable. In the realm of historical enigmas, the Count of Saint Germain stands as a symbol of the tantalizing mysteries that history occasionally presents. His life sparks our imagination, inviting us to contemplate the boundaries of human potential and the allure of the secrets that defy conventional understanding. The Count of Saint Germain's story is a captivating enigma forever etched in the tapestry of history, leaving us to ponder the nature of his extraordinary existence. Now, as we continue our exploration into the enigmatic life of the Count of Saint Germain, it's impossible to resist the pull of the mysteries that surround him. So, let's now transition into a deeper dive, shining a spotlight on some of the individual puzzles and peculiarities that have left researchers and historians in awe. Brace yourself as we step further into the labyrinth of the Count's existence, shedding light on the captivating enigmas that have perplexed minds for centuries. So, what we're going to do is we're going to begin with the idea that the Count may have been centuries old, or possibly even immortal. Now, some say this is how he was able to acquire all the knowledge he had because of the things he knew. Because of the things he knew, it would have taken maybe a few lifetimes to learn. So, what are some of the theories surrounding this mystery? Well, the first thing is that some claim the Count of Saint Germain discovered the formula for life-extending elixir. It's noted in many written accounts by authors who had the privilege to cross paths with the Count that Saint Germain had a potion that he would drink in lieu of food while at parties. Now, when others started to write the same oddity about him in their memoirs or books, people started to wonder if the Count ever ate at all. Because it seems at these parties he wasn't eating, he was just drinking his little potion that he had. So this for sure added to the allure of the mystic Count Saint Germain. It's well known that the Count was a master alchemist. At first it was self-proclaimed, but at some point it must have been confirmed because historic accounts of his abilities survived. Why else would they be written in all these books? But how he became a master is another mystery in itself. Now, some say the Count was part of a secret society whose upper echelon held the secrets of the unknown, like possibly creating a potion that could change various metals into gold. It's unknown which organization the Count was tied to, but because of his progressive ideas and his thirst for knowledge, some names mentioned were people like the Illuminati, the original Freemasons, or the Rosicrucians. This rumor became so prevalent that at one point during the French Revolution, the Count was ran out from amongst his peers after they began to suspect him as a spy. Another theory is that the Count's suggested immortality was the result of an ancient curse that came upon him way long before the Enlightenment era ever came to be. All right. Now, in this tale, there is an old tale about someone called the Wandering Jew. Now, the legend of the Wandering Jew is rooted in Christian folklore and draws inspiration from biblical narratives. Now, it's based on the interpretation of a passage from the Gospel of Matthew where Jesus predicts that some of the people present with him will not taste death before witnessing the coming of the Son of Man. Now, over time, this prediction was associated with the figure who is cursed to wander without rest, never dying, serving as a reminder of the consequences for rejecting the Christ. Could this be the reason why the Count seemed to be so interesting to people? I mean, one would be inclined to learn a thing or two if they've been alive for almost 1,000 years, right? The other popular opinion is that the Count of Saint Germain was a vampire. Now, I don't mean the kind that just likes the taste of a few drops of blood here and there. I mean the kind that are undead and live forever. So, of course, one of the reasons why people think this is because he never ate in front of them. He was always just sipping that cognac that he had, that special drink. And so, people started to wonder. So, what was this potion? Many thought it was an elixir that extended life through some type of herbal remedy. But what if it was something more sinister? What if it was human blood mixed with some type of tonic or something? Now, for a vampire, that would be all they need to survive. Just some good old fresh blood from a recent victim, right? Strangely enough, it was also mentioned a few times that the Count did not like mirrors. He was not a fan, which also is thought to be another pet peeve of the living dead. Now, it wasn't that he didn't want to be seen, because he loved parties and he loved people creating portraits of him. It was just reported that he didn't like staring at his own reflection. Kind of weird, right? Here's another head scratcher. It's theorized that the Count of Saint Germain had many different aliases throughout the ages. For one, there's a strong possibility that the Count could have been a man named Nicolas Flamel, a 14th century French scribe who was also deep into the study of alchemy. In Nicholas's day, he spent much of his time in pursuit of creating something called the Philosopher's Stone. Now, this stone was said to give its wielder the power to turn any worthless metal into solid gold, making them instantly stinking wealthy. It was also said to grant immortality. Now, Nicholas was not a rich man to start. All right, he was broke. He worked as a manuscript maker and as a researcher, and he just lived a relatively uneventful life with his wife Pernell. Now, one day he gets this big stack of damaged books donated to him. They just gave it to him.
Here you go.
And he's overjoyed because he can clean them, rebind them, resurface them, and then possibly sell them for a profit. So he's happy. Now he's got some work. Now, as he's looking through his new items, he comes across a small manuscript written in an ancient language that he can scarcely understand. The only thing that he can make out is the title, and the title reads, The Book of Abraham the Jew. Now, right away, he starts to break down the cipher with the help of his wife Pernell, who was a bit of a linguist. And it's thought that at some point they must have cracked the formula for transmuting gold, because out of nowhere, boom, they're loaded and they're off. You know, they're donating to charities. They're building all kinds of churches and hospitals all across France, some which are still standing to this very day.
You get a donation. You get a donation. You will get a donation.
Then the rumor was they figured out the formula for the elixir of life, because suddenly they went from an elderly couple who were on their way out and who wore the wear and tear of a long life to exuberant philanthropists whose passion was just oozing out of everything they did. And in the 14th century France, I mean, that just didn't happen. You didn't get younger, you know. So something was up. Eventually, their popularity would grow so much that they had to fake their own deaths just to escape the limelight that had grew so large around them. I mean, they wouldn't be left alone. There was people asking for help and charity, and all these people coming, seeking their help, and they just couldn't stand it no more. Well, after it was found out that they were not the ones in their supposed grave sites, many sightings of the couples started popping up all over France. I'm sorry, I can't talk. All over France, and all the way up until a certain time. And can you guess when that time was? Well, if you said the 1700s, you would be correct. Right around the time the Count of Saint Germain popped up. So, is all this just a coincidence? Who knows? That's up for you to decide. In the end, you're the one that's going to make that choice. But we're not quite done yet, so hold that thought, because we still got to get to the part about vampirism. So let's circle back to that real quick. Now, in the early 1900s, there was a man who showed up in New Orleans one day, a well-spoken man in different languages. He knew tons of languages. He was well-mannered, well-dressed. Obviously, the townspeople thought that he was someone of wealth and importance wherever he came from.
Good day, sir.
But that's where the mystery started, because he started throwing these extravagant parties, and he was inviting the who's who of all the town, and they would have a great time. And but when they started to, they tried to pile up to him and try to find out about his past, he would reveal very little. He didn't like to talk about it. So the only thing that he made known was that his name was Jacques Saint Germain, and that he claimed that he was the only living relative of the original Count Saint Germain.
Enchanté, je m'appelle Jacques de Saint-Germain.
Now, according to local legends, Jacques' physical features were an exact match to the historical paintings of the Count Saint Germain. So people took his word for it, and they started believing what he was saying. That's until Jacques wore out his welcome in old New Orleans. So it started to become aware that Jacques was partaking in some occult activities that were less welcome around the parts, and that he was also actively trying to recruit people into a secret society he was a part of. So one night, Jacques throws a lavish party. He invites all the who's who, all the rich people. Well, the night turns out great. Everybody's leaving. Only he persuades a young woman to stay around for a while, have a little nightcap. So shortly afterwards, people start hearing a woman scream. And as they run towards the center square, where all the apartment balconies overlook a green space area, they see a woman fall from Jacques' second-story balcony. So they race over and try to see if the woman was still alive. And luckily, she survived the fall, but she's obviously terrified because she's still looking up at the apartment balcony, not worrying one bit about her injuries. So they asked her, hey, how did you fall over the railing? And she tells them, I didn't fall, I jumped. She says that Jacques attacked her and bit her on the neck, and that she didn't have any other choice because he would not let her leave. So quickly they form a mob, and they're screaming for Jacques to come out and answer these accusations.
Hey, you there.
But when he doesn't answer them, they light his building on fire because that's how they got down those days. So his building is lit, and it's starting to reach his apartment, and they hear this scream, and they see the front door burst open, and they thought that they saw something fly out. But when the smoke settled, there was nothing there. And so they assume that he's still inside. So the mob goes and they go in to apprehend Jack. Only they find his apartment empty and it's fully engulfed in flames. So since then, no one's ever seen Jack again around those parts. But the local legends and theories say that he never left. He stayed there. So while doing research to try and find a source for this account, it always goes back to it being a local legend passed down from generation to generation. I did find one source where Jack himself gave an interview to a local reporter about his life as a vampire and the account of what happened that night. If this is starting to sound like the movie Interview with the Vampire, you would be 100% right. It's thought that the writer of the Vampire Chronicles, Anne Rice, gained her inspiration from this true story. Some went even further as to say Anne was the reporter who was granted the interview with Jacques Saint Germain, or Count Saint Germain. Some would even say that the Jacques or Count, whoever this mystery person was, inspired the main character in Anne's story. So, is it possible that Saint Germain was Lestat de Lioncourt? Some say it's so. So with that last gem of knowledge, we're going to go ahead and transition into the segment of the show where we share our own theory on the subject matter. In this case, what we think about who this mysterious character known as the Count of Saint Germain really is. Was he a wealthy, immortal anomaly who happened to discover the elixir of everlasting life? Or was he a cursed Jewish man doomed to roam the earth forever until the second coming of the Son of Man? Or was he just a very smart, talented grifter who knew how to work a crowd into a frenzy? You know, in this case, I'm going to say that I believe the Count discovered something special, something really extraordinary, and it changed his life. I don't necessarily believe in the whole vampire aspect of the story. I'm going to choose to exclude that one. But as far as transmuting metals into gold and the elixir of life, I think it's possible. Let me tell you why. One of the reasons why I chose this is because something I heard of recently about CERN. CERN. And CERN is a company, and it has a large device called the Large Hadron Collider, or LHC. Now, if you're not familiar with this, its primary mission is to study the fundamental structure of the universe by investigating the properties and behavior of subatomic particles. Okay. Anyways, this device is very powerful, and about 5 years ago, the staff at CERN realized that there was a thin film of material that was forming on the interior of the Large Hadron Collider. So they went and they studied it, and they soon realized that it was actually made up of precious metals. In fact, the material was a combination of about 90% gold and 10% platinum, and a small balance of rare earth metals. So, anyways, because of this, and the fact that diamonds can be replicated in labs nowadays, I think it's possible that the Count found a way to achieve this back then. And I think that's exactly what he did. As far as the life elixir, I just have to say, I mean, how else could he be so accomplished? How else could he have this vast wealth of knowledge that he had? I mean, there was royalty back then that weren't as well trained as he was. So the only way that I think that could be achieved is if he was centuries old. I mean, he knew many languages, he could sing, he was an expert violinist, he could paint, he could tell you about all the types of art, and he just completely mesmerized people with his conversations about him knowing ancient figures like King Solomon and Cleopatra, and even Jesus himself. He claimed that he had actual artifacts given to him by Jesus, and the crowd he hung around with didn't deny that he did. I mean, if you couldn't back up what you were saying or what you were claiming in some way, they would quickly call BS, right? Well, instead, they wrote about it in their books. Anyways, this is my opinion, and, as the saying goes, everybody has one. So on that note, if you care to share yours with me, feel free to reach out to me on social media or through email. You can send that email to info@spacecityxfiles.com. I'd love to hear what you thought about the story of Count Saint Germain. But for now, that's going to do it for this episode. If you enjoyed this tale and appreciate the hard work we put into creating it, please take a few minutes after the conclusion to drop us a review and a thumbs up. Your feedback helps out so much, I can't even begin to describe it, but it does, and it's the main factor that helps us gain awareness. It helps us knock down those algorithms so we can reach people all over the world. Thank you all for listening. We'll be back again with another interesting story next week. We can't wait to share it with you. This is Rick on behalf of the Space City X-Files, and until we meet again, keep questioning, keep listening, and keep exploring.
Thank you for listening to the Space City X-Files.